Good morning again. I'm Aldrin Simpi. Of course, the big story of the day is that resignation of President Jacob Zuma. As we mentioned earlier, and former President Jacob Zuma has avoided a motion of no confidence in Parliament by resigning late last night. ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa is likely to have a whistle-stop election, then swearing in as the new South African president in the next 36 hours or so. We are joined now by political analyst Prince Mashele. I was wondering yesterday, just listening to the president deliver his speech, especially when he made this, "I do not fear exiting." When he made that comment and said that I don't fear an impeachment, I don't fear a motion of no confidence, I thought that this means that the president is not resigning up until the end.
Not true. We all held our breath when he made that statement that he doesn't fear impeachment. I thought he was saying to the nation, I am ready to be impeached tomorrow. But I knew that he was actually lying. He actually did fear impeachment because he read the political mood. His party has already made it clear that they were going to support the EFF. So he knew that that would have been the end. And by the way, if he didn't resign last night, he would have had no opportunity to address the nation if he was removed through an impeachment.
Well, we had no opportunity to address the nation as president, but I think even as former president, he still has, the resonance with South Africans, and he could call a press briefing and explain his side of the story, like he did during the exclusive interview with the SABC.
Well, addressing the nation as an ordinary South African, I suppose that anyone can do that. I can do that myself, but it doesn't have the weight that comes with the presidential office. So if he waited and was removed through a motion of no confidence, yes, he could call a press conference, but really, I think all of us would just go to work.
Why do you think he waited up until the last moment? Not even just the last moment, but also the last hours heading into that deadline that had been set by the NEC?
He was playing hide and seek with his political party, the ANC. At some point, he didn't believe that the ANC could do what it threatened to do. The reason why he thought that way is because the ANC, throughout his term, defended him when he had done scandals. So he thought that he had forces within the leadership of the ANC that could defend him. So he waited until the last moment when he was certain that even those who had supported him had actually turned against him. And the writing was on the wall. By last night, he knew that it was finished.
And just looking at the reports yesterday, also indicating that Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma were amongst those who said that he must go.
Look, she is a clever South African. She listens to the radio. She hears people talking. She knows that South Africans are tired, sick and tired of Jacob Zuma. So for her to adopt a position counter to the public mood would have been politically dangerous. So she's trying to salvage whatever little image she may have by swinging with the mood. And just looking into you saying that the president waited up until the last moment and, of course, testing the waters, first of all, and the ANC's parliamentary caucus being addressed by the Treasurer General, Paul Mashatile, then saying that, listen, we're not giving any more extensions. The president will meet us along the way. And the ANC also agreeing to vote with the opposition party. That for me took me by surprise that now you have the ANC saying that it's okay. Let's do it let's go in with this with the EFF. Here's the thing. The ANC was in a corner. There was no way the ANC could jump the queue. There was already a motion of no confidence on the agenda of Parliament, which was placed by the EFF. The Speaker could not get out of that corner. The only option that the ANC had was to join the EFF, which of course was embarrassing. In fact, Jacob Zuma saved the ANC huge embarrassment.
Yes.
If they went to Parliament, this today would be a moment for Julius Malema. He would open the debate and would close the debate. So the ANC was in a corner. But we must actually not sympathize with the ANC because it's not as if the ANC did not get itself into that corner. The ANC defended Jacob Zuma for all the years. So these people are to blame as well.
And listening to the chairperson of the ANC when he was speaking in the Eastern Cape, he was quite clear and he said that the ANC would never vote with the opposition. He said that it would be counter-revolutionary for the party to do that. And yet yesterday we saw something else, that the party was actually willing to do that, to show President Jacob Zuma the door.
Here is the thing. You never know when you hear someone speaking on behalf of the ANC as to which ANC he represents. Remember, a few weeks ago, Prince Mashele told us that Jacob Zuma is going nowhere. He was so determined. And this is the Secretary General of the party, right? A few weeks down the road, we had Paul Mashatile singing from a different hymn sheet. So I am not surprised. In fact, the chairperson of the ANC, Gwede Mantashe, is known for speaking in tongues. There's a thing called mantashing in South African.
It's a verb now.
Exactly. It means making a U-turn. So you say something today, tomorrow you say something else. That is the ANC of today.
And what this moment has also exposed is the inconsistencies within the ANC's top six, because you had the press briefing that was delivered by the Secretary General of the ANC, Prince Mashele, who said that there's no deadline, first of all, and he said there's still room for engagement and there will be no discussions around the motion of no confidence by the ANC Parliamentary Caucus. But then the following day, you saw something else. And even on the same day, Gwede Mantashe, again speaking in the Eastern Cape, said the deadline is 48 hours. And if he doesn't resign, there will be a motion of no confidence against him. What does this also expose within the ANC, especially the top six?
It tells you that there are two ANCs within the ANC. There is the ANC of Cyril Ramaphosa and his faction, and there is the ANC of Jacob Zuma and Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma and their faction. Prince Mashele is known. He was on the slate of NDZ. So he speaks for that faction. In fact, it's interesting. Yesterday, he was absent, was conspicuous by his absence. He didn't address the media throughout the day. He didn't address the media after the resignation. Remember that possibly he's probably one of those who are supposed to hand themselves over to the police. So he's an unhappy man. He didn't even address caucus. By the way, the person who's supposed to marshal forces in parliament is the Secretary General. The fact that he was absent yesterday tells you that the top six is divided. Indeed, the NEC is divided and the ANC is divided.
Well, thank you so much to Prince Mashele. But of course, he will stay with us throughout the morning as we unpack what happens now since President Jacob Zuma has resigned. We'll also speak to ANC stalwart Cheryl Carolus. She's been clear that President Jacob should have gone last year already. Remember when they started that 101 veteran? So we'll look into that and what happens now, days after President Jacob Zuma, especially for the party. Let's go to a quick ad break, and after that, we'll look into those details.